Did you see the new teaser trailer for the new Salem's Lot yet?
There's a new Salem's Lot?
Mm-hmm.
No, wait. Did I know that? Tell me about it.
Well, I watched it, and I think like Salem's Lot is probably one of my favorite vampire things.
No.
It's up there.
Your favorite's Anne Rice.
Yeah.
Your favorite's Twilight, man. What are you talking about? Why you fucking gotta hide it from everyone? Just come out. Just come out of the Twilight closet.
No, but it's just I was watching it and I was trying to think of another. Like I know we've done like the Dream reboot thing, but is there something in recent that you've thought of that has been long enough that would actually be kind of cool to? That's like because I know they're also making like a new Children of the Corn, but I'm like so uninterested in that.
That's funny that I was like, well, that looks kind of interesting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess that's the answer. I was just trying to think of something it's old enough where it's like, yeah, okay, we can revisit this. You know, a lot of times something comes out and you're like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, I would have. That's definitely I can't think of in the next 15, 20 seconds. Excuse me.
Children of the Corn makes sense for you though.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I guess that's my answer.
I'm really trying to think of something. Just because there was something recently where I was like, oh, that'd be a really cool reboot, and it's not. It's not in my head anymore. It's somewhere lost in the files, underneath some desk, and hidden behind a porn image or something.
Collecting dust. But yeah, the new Salem's Lot's supposed to come out April 21st of this year.
Oh, it's soon. Mm-hmm. I thought it was just an announcement thing. Oh,
well, it's supposed to come out September 9th of last year, but then got pushed to April. But yeah, check out the trailer. It looks good. It looks cool.
All right. I think I have because I'm there's just something in my mind of being on IMDb and being like Salem's Lot.
Well, I think that just real quick, I can get into it, but it's Salem's Lot, the 90s miniseries TNT, right?
Sure.
I think TNT.
Maybe I thought it was 80s.
Rob Lowe.
Oh, early 90s, yeah.
Yeah, it's early 90s.
It may have been ABC. They did shit like that too.
No, that's true. But just for the teaser, it actually looks like it's gonna be scary.
Hell yeah,
which I'm really excited for.
Yeah,
the whole at the window, let me in thing. Yeah, they show a brief second of that, and I was like, that looks fucking terrifying.
Gonna be terrified of children again.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
this is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is
Tommy Jacob's mixtape. I don't know why.
I thought you were ready.
Ooh. Shake your boobs. Shake your boobs. Shake.
Can you touch this? No. Looks like we got some lawbreakers in here.
That was actually pretty fucking dope opening scene. I gotta say, I was like,
but I don't see a cop anywhere.
Yeah, so I was like, all right.
He is so shiny. So shiny in this movie.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another week with us. My energy thing is happening again. Continuing with our strippers block inspired by real stories ish. This one ish.
Ish.
I thought it was a lot more.
It's kind of what you.
Yeah, because the knowledge that I had of it, it sounded like it was a lot more. And then obviously now we're going to talk about it and we're going to be like, oh, Jacob just misheard stuff like he generally does. Anywho, if you guys aren't aware of looking at the title, we are reviewing this week Magic Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see. I'm guessing you didn't like it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Nah.
All right. Why is he doing the all right again?
A lot.
I know.
A lot in this movie.
It's is this where that character went after Dazed and Confused?
Yeah, he says it a lot in this movie.
Yeah, it was really all the ending. The ending really just ruined everything.
Oh my God, I'm so happy to. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was fine with it. It was kind of funny.
Yeah.
There's moments I was laughing through it. There's some jokes and stuff. That I was okay, that was cool.
Yeah, well,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
We'll get into that because, and that's the end of the
All
podcast.
right, thank you for listening. We gotta go.
So yeah, it's ratings really quick, which I think are kind of fair. I don't know. IMDb, it's a 6.1. Its audience score it's a tomato meters rating on Rotten Tomatoes was 78%, and its audience score was 60%. So it's like just mid. It was a movie that happened.
It happened. Yeah.
This came out June 24th, 2012. And just kind of a summer movie. It's a good summer movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, go. Box office wise, pretty average. 28 domestic, 44 worldwide.
I mean, I haven't really brought this up in a while, but it's kind of crazy. Budget of $7 million, it grossed 167.
Wow,
it made a lot of money back.
So even though it wasn't really like a huge it wasn't like big in the box office like numbers.
Yeah,
it made money.
Yeah, it made some money.
How much was its budget?
$7
million. That was it.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, you're just having.
You're
just having abs dancing.
Yeah. Well, then even like he did a lot of choreo, like his like he did a lot of the choreography.
He did his own choreography.
Everyone danced. Mm-hmm. Like they didn't hire another group of people to dance for them. They just hired them and they danced. So it's like, well, that's actually like taking a chunk out of your.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean?
True. Yeah.
You're not hiring body doubles. You're just.
Mm-hmm. And like it is pretty much more of a character-driven drama, other than the dancing. So.
Yeah. So it's like when you think about it, the most you're paying for is like costume and like wardrobe and makeup.
Yeah, and production.
Yeah, in production. So it's like if you think about it, it's not a huge price tag.
I mean, fuck, dude. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense that they were like, yeah, let's make a fucking sequel. Do you see how much money we made?
Look, let's do it again. I'll do it again.
What's your synopsis?
We follow the lives of a group of male erotic dancers in Tampa, Florida.
Yeah,
that's really it.
I mean, that's yeah.
There's
obviously more to it.
But
how many movies did you have for 2012?
42.
Yeah, I had 26.
Yeah,
and I was looking at it, I'm like, I'm not gonna lot.
If I remember, there's a lot of sequels of like franchises and stuff that I don't really care about.
I would be really curious for us to actually go down one of these lists together. And I was talking about this last week, but I'm starting to realize I think I have a lot more that end up like in the way like bottom of the list, because I think I've actually just watched a lot of like weird indie movies.
I'm all over the place. I have
up at the top,
and then some in the middle, and then like 3 or 4 random ass shit that I saw on Shudder or some horror movie, random ass horror movie that was streaming free, and I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I have an afternoon to kill. I'll watch this hour and a half
bullshit,
haunted doll bullshit. Like I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? I don't really want to think, so turn it off.
Fair. Cool. Well, I guess we can just get into the directing and writing and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Man, actually, I don't know. This might actually be kind of a shorter episode.
You always say that.
Yeah, we'll see.
This is an interesting career.
Who's Steven Soderbergh?
Yeah.
I really like him as a director. I really like the work that he's done.
Yeah.
Most because like Steven Soderbergh, I think most famously known for the Ocean's movies. The first 3. I think he was a producer. 11, 12, 13. I think he was a producer on Ocean's 8.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of weird.
I don't know why I didn't look at that. But then next I would say Aaron Brockovich is kind of his neck, because Julia Roberts, I think, was nominated for an Oscar.
I went with Traffic.
I mean, that's another popular one. But Aaron Brockovich, when it came out, was like really fucking huge.
I don't remember it being that huge, but
I mean, you were like probably 3 years old when it came out.
That's fair. Once a critic, always a critic.
But yeah, Traffic.
I just watched Traffic a couple of years ago for the first time and was kind of blown away by that movie.
I think I watched that as a teenager when it came out, but I might also be getting it confused with Crash. Now that I think about it, so
that's fair.
I don't know if I've seen
Crash. Is also really great. That's a great movie.
Yeah,
that's an intense movie. Shit, I forgot about Crash.
Anywho,
I want to watch Crash again.
Let's see, The Informant, and then
Logan Lucky.
I don't know what that is.
I think it's like Logan Lucky. I think it's if I remember correctly, it's like Daniel Craig and what's his name? Moore.
Adam Driver.
Yeah, I just say more.
It was also the look on your face. I knew exactly where you were going, and I saw the Parmesan cheese falling as well in the meme.
But yeah, I think that's if I remember correctly.
I mean, he's also a really big. He's a big producer. I think more producer than director.
He is a producer on Ocean's 8. So
he is cool.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I really like his style of directing. It can go like quick, fast paced, and then then quickly settle into a really like grounded moment really well. That's what I love watching the Ocean's movies because of the pacing that he creates in those movies.
Yeah.
And it's also like for movies that have that are a trilogy, and luckily enough to have all of the same director, they all have the same fingerprint. They don't feel like different movies. You can kind of almost interchange them.
Yeah.
The only thing is the heists do start to get a little kind of like ridiculous. Like one of them, they're like underwater, raising just like a house 3 inches, pretty much.
Well, it's like you said, it's the escalating thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Oceans, Mission Impossible, 007,
Fast and the Furious.
Like you always have to we had lasers before, but now it's lasers in space.
And there's gonna be sharks on those lasers.
Freaking shark, freaking sharks with laser beams on their head. It's like in the DNA of those kind of movies. You have to kind of do that.
Exactly.
Otherwise, people get bored.
Did you have any more thoughts with Steven Soderbergh?
No, not really. I thought it was interesting to look at his career.
Yeah.
And because that too,
he kind of has a feel and genre that he does, but it definitely well,
there's always just there's always, in a sense for directors, a lot of the time I've noticed over the years of doing this, there's always an odd man out, and Magic Mike is kind of the odd man. You're like, okay.
I feel like The Informant kind of is.
No, but even that, because The Informant isn't it also kind of, that's with Matt
Damon.
Isn't it also kind of like a dry drama comedy?
Wait, am I getting this confused with? I think you might be thinking of or am I getting it confused with?
I thought I'd never seen it, but I remember having.
Oh, I'm getting it confused with The Good Shepherd.
Okay, yeah, I thought The Informant had a kind of burn after reading vibe.
It did, yeah, and I always think it's a Coen Brothers film. But I don't think...
You know what I mean? And that kind of fits, because even Oceans is not ha 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 funny. It's a dry kind of funny.
I think Oceans is very ha 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 ha.
I mean, I maybe I shouldn't speak to Oceans. I haven't seen them in forever. But from what I remember, I'm doing all this just from speculation, But it's Magic Mike to me is the odd man. It's just I
mean, he wasn't original. I don't think he was originally...
He wasn't.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, let's move on. Yeah. Let's just move. Let's keep moving forward. Because also writer is I wrote dog. Oh, his name is Reid Carolin, and
another Channing Tatum movie.
Yeah, and
called Dog.
He's a lot more in producing. I saw
my mom talked mad shit about that movie.
Dog.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember you telling me that. Yeah,
because she's from the commercials, she thought she was going into one thing, and then when she went and saw it, she was like, "That was so different."
Oh, was it actually sad?
There's more heart to it. She thought it was just about a guy and his dog, But apparently,
we're gonna go on adventure. Woohoo!
Yeah, let's go, Scooby.
Or Homeward Bound,
Yeah, but yeah, apparently. But yeah.
Was there anything else? Did you write down anything else for Reid Carolin?
Was a writer on a documentary that I thought sounded interesting.
Yeah, which documentary?
Let me find it real quick.
Obviously not.
Earth made of glass.
Oh, okay.
Which I was like, oh, that sounds kind of interesting. But then Magic Mike XXL, Dog, Magic Mike's Last Dance, based on characters, so created by So I can't believe they made 3 of them. The third one just came out, right?
Yeah, it's either. Yeah, actually, I didn't realize how in time we are with.
Yeah, but that was totally by accident.
Yeah, that was 100% by accident. Or maybe not, because I proposed this a couple weeks ago. Maybe Magic Mike XXL was in my... Oh, no, but then you brought up Hustlers, and I was like, wait, Hustlers and Magic Mike. Anyhow. Yeah, so I think the stars of the show are kind of what drew people in more than anything.
It's a lot of
tasty man. A lot of sexy man.
I just did a Lord of the Rings quote to make a joke about
Oh, yeah, you did.
Man flesh. Fucking meta.
Nice. Well, let's. Do we want to end with Channing Tatum since he's the lead, and then just go with everybody else really quick, or just start with Channing Tatum?
You already said his name. So yeah, loosely based off of Channing Tatum's life as a young stripper in Florida.
Yeah, we'll get a little more into that though.
But yeah, so we got Channing Tatum, the G.I. Joe. I don't know.
21 Jump Street.
Yeah, I know, but
The Dilemma with Vince Vaughn and Kevin James, Winona Ryder.
She's the Man, I think is one of his early ones.
Yeah.
It's one of his early ones.
Not Save the Last Dance. Step Up.
Step Up. Yeah.
The Coen Brothers movie, Hail Caesar. These are coming off our head right now, dude. Are we playing the movie game right now?
Yeah, basically.
Foxcatcher with Steve Carell. It's one of his dramas.
Stop Loss, I think is that what it is called.
I don't know that one.
He's he's on leave from the military, and then something happens, and he has to yeah, it's like a military.
This Is the End when he plays the Gimp.
Bullet Train.
Oh yeah, he plays the. So, okay, I gotta say one. I really like Channing Tatum because he doesn't feel like he takes himself too seriously.
Yeah.
I think he actually is a really good comedic actor.
I think that's the thing though. Is once he got into that, figuring out his timing for because I honestly didn't give two shits about Channing Tatum until 21 Jump Street and on.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, this guy has a really good timing for comedy, you know? And it's juxtaposition to he's this big buff, good looking guy.
He's the dancer boy, you know?
Yeah. So
and then he's just willing to just fucking joke on himself.
Yeah, no, it's
This
cool.
Is the End is fucking hilarious when he comes out of Danny McBride's fucking trailer and he Danny's bend over and he's just offers his ass up. I'm just oh my god, dude, this is so fucking funny.
Well, because kind of funny enough too, he has a dry thing, that whole thing in that whole interaction in Bullet Train.
He's just so serious about it.
Is this a sex thing?
Yeah,
or, and it's it's just funny. He just I like Channing Tatum.
And then on top of that, I do think, and you see a little bit of it in this movie. There is this glimmer of I think there is a chance of him becoming a good dramatic actor, especially if you haven't seen Foxcatcher. I do recommend that. He is actually really, really good in that. It's him, Mark Ruffalo, and Steve Carell. What happened?
I don't know. My computer just started just aggressively scrolling down his list of movies on it. So Jesus, I was Jesus. I was just trying to click on Foxcatcher to see what it was about.
It's based on a real story. Wrestling, collegiate wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's actually a really sad, tragic story too.
I could see that too. Funny enough, from even as his sad moments in 21 Jump Street, the face of his crying face. I'm I feel like you could really pull something out.
Well, there was a moment in this until the moment died. Well, let's keep going on down the acting.
I guess up next, Matthew McConaughey.
I was going to say Alex Pettyfer, but I don't know anything else that Alex Pettyfer. I didn't recognize anything else that he's been in. Who's the guy that played the kid?
Oh, I've only seen him in Beastly.
I don't even know what that is.
I think it's him and Vanessa Hudgens, and it's a modern kind of retelling of Beauty and the Beast. He's a good-looking rich guy that treats people like shit, and then he gets cursed to I'm explaining Beauty and the Beast to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that movie. But yeah,
I know the story of Beauty. What's Beauty and the Beast about?
Yeah, I'm I don't need to break that down for you. But yeah, I mean, is that all I wrote down for him?
I mean, because also he wasn't really.
Oh, and something called Elvis and Nixon.
He wasn't a very phenomenal actor in this. I
mean, yeah.
He was just, I'm a mopey boy. I know I'm gonna do drugs.
Now I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Oh, he was in Time, but I don't even remember who he was in Time.
Oh yeah, same. And
I like that movie. Actually, I think it's a fun kind of.
That is a fun
kind of turn off your brain, sci-fi. Just go with it. Eat the carrot.
It was a really cool idea.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah.
Just eat the carrot and just go with it. Money is time because time is money.
And then I have Cody Horn next because I feel like they're his sister was I feel like they were the main characters. The story was more about them. And then Matthew McConaughey was kind of the villain.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about Cody Horn too because
again, I was I didn't recognize anything else she'd been in.
Well, I recognize that movie Ask for Jane. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Ask for Jane. Came out in 2018, and I think it actually has to do with It's kind of a group of determined Midwestern women began providing safe but illegal abortions in the 1960s period based drama on a true story.
Oh, that's fucking dope.
And I was like, that's a pretty intense. And I remember hearing about it and people were like, you need to like check this movie out. But it's like, because in this, she was also not great.
She just wasn't a well-written character. Like, let's make her like a nurse's assistant because then she has depth. No.
Yeah.
And then she was just snarky and then like.
You know who she reminded me of a lot of? Can you guess? We were just talking about her in Hustlers. And I was like, oh yeah, what happened to her? I haven't seen her or anything in a long time. Julia Stiles. She kind of reminded me of Julia Stiles.
I thought you were trying to say someone that's personal, like that we know.
No,
and I was like, I don't want to. Who am I throwing under the bus, bro?
No, she reminded me of like a young Julia Stiles.
Okay.
Even like even her face. I was like, you kind of really remind me of Julia Stiles.
I see that a little bit in the face, but acting wise, I feel like a young Julia Stiles was already a lot better than Cody.
Oh yeah, but the snark, also because she was like snarky and very 10 Things I Hate About You kind of.
Yeah.
I get it, you're hot, but that's not gonna work.
We need to talk about these clothes in the living room. They're for work. I don't care what kind of lifestyle you live. Like, God.
Yeah, like, why'd you leave him out there like that?
Yeah, because he's also a fucking idiot.
Yeah, but
they keep establishing the kid's fucking dumb. You know. Anywho, and then Matthew McConaughey. All right.
Who?
True Detective season 1.
Reign of Fire, which we
we have done Matthew McConaughey, haven't we?
Mm-hmm. And we technically have done it twice, just only one episode released. The mythical
Sahara
2-hour-long Sahara episode.
Yeah, I think that might be lost actually.
That'd be a bummer. Oh. What I was just curious. What is I was talking about this with my partner. What is your first introduction to Matthew McConaughey?
Introduction to Matthew McConaughey?
What was the first thing you remember watching with him in it?
Maybe Ed TV. I'm trying to think if there was something before that. Because I think there was. But Ed TV is kind of like the earliest one that I can really, really think of.
Okay. Because mine's Contact, which I thought was so weird.
Oh, you know what? I think it is
Contact.
I don't think I remembered him being in. I just remember Jodie Foster talking to her dead dad in Contact. Spoiler.
The movie came out in like 98. I think you're okay.
I just remember Jodie Foster, like really the end of that movie more than anything with Jodie Foster.
Well, because also Matthew McConaughey was a baby in that movie.
Yeah. I never watched Dazed and Confused until I was really in high school. Same with Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation.
I gotta say too, for any McConaughey fans and Guy Ritchie fans, if you haven't gotten around to it, watch The Gentleman. He's
fucking amazing.
He's awesome in that movie.
There's a little bit of similarities of the mob boss mentality that I was picking up in this. Mm-hmm. That was also in The Gentleman, but The Gentleman, the character is just cooler.
Yeah, he's
not a douchebag.
That's what happens when the lion gets hungry.
Yeah,
he eats.
And you really got me thinking. Like, I'm trying to I think Ed TV is really the first thing that I saw him in, and then obviously whatever rom-coms that he did after that.
I'm gonna show Fallon Interstellar.
Is she gonna be able to sit through that?
I don't know. That's what I'm curious about.
She's gonna be questioning the science behind that movie the entire time.
Yeah, like the theory of relativity and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's just gonna cause another argument with you guys.
Well, no,
it's gonna be like everything everywhere all at once.
We because she wanted to show me. We both have a Matthew McConaughey movie. We want to trade. Like when I've seen that, I really like when she's seen. She was like, can't remember what hers was titled, but
was it like Failure to Launch or How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days?
No. It's like an early.
Is it Ed TV with Woody Harrelson?
It's not a comedy.
Oh,
it's like something more serious. I think he plays like a cop, or he plays a cop, or something like that. I don't know. I'll look it up when I'll let you know what it is.
Okay.
I'm curious if you've seen it.
And then I guess some quick shout outs. Again, Kevin Nash. We've done 3 movies with Kevin Nash.
Oh, Punisher and Longest Yard.
Yeah. And now this. Kevin Nash plays Tarzan in this, and like,
when they're going out on the stage and like going up to the girls, and he like, I'm like, he is terrifying. He looks like the fucking Undertaker, and he's gonna take your ass out. I was like, he's just like looking over this young lady, like, I'm like,
some girls just be like, oh.
I mean, no, definitely, yeah, but I'm like, Don't eat me.
Also, did you notice like in the when they're doing the group dance scene, he's the only one that's like not really dancing. I was like watching. I was like everyone's like kind of like ooh getting into it.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of like you can't really move the hips.
That is funny, huh? Oh, A Time to Kill, by the way. That's the movie that she.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he plays a cop or something.
And then
He's
Matt,
a lawyer.
I think. Oh, Gabriel Iglesias.
Fluffy.
Fluffy, yay.
Yeah, Fluffy.
I love the noises he makes too. He has an amazing range, like vocal range. And then Matt Bomer, who I think Suits was the show I was trying to remember, but he's in Doom Patrol.
White, isn't it?
White Collar. Thank you. Yeah.
White Collar was his big.
Yeah, that was
TV
his
show.
big. That was his big thing on USA. And then he started playing the Invisible Man character in on Doom Patrol.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was actually waiting. Did I write it down? Oh, and American Horror Story.
That's right.
Hotel,
Yeah.
Lady Gaga's like boy toy.
Yeah. And then Joe Manganiello, is that how you pronounce his last name? I don't know why. I didn't write it down, so I'm just trying to go off memory. But he's Manganiello,
yeah.
He's one of best How I Met Your Mother. God damn, where am I?
The dick lawyer guy.
Yeah, but he's also Marshall. God damn it, Marshall's like old best friend from college.
Yeah,
he's also Flash Thompson and for Spider-Man.
I forgot about that. I didn't even realize that was him until I read that, and I was like, "Get the fuck."
Yeah, no, you go back and like that's a baby.
He's a baby. Yeah,
I was like, whoa.
I wouldn't fight me neither.
Yeah, right. He was a great Flash Thompson, actually.
He was. For that, well, like
for that
type of Flash Thompson.
Yeah.
True Blood. He was in that.
He's in True Blood.
Mm-hmm.
I've never watched True Blood, so
I never got. He's later on. I never got. I was only ever got like 2 seasons deep, and then it gets at a certain point. Shows like what is that? Was that Showtime or HBO or whatever? All those Showtime, HBO, FX. A lot of the time they go too long and they just go off the
fucking rails,
and you're like, okay. I'm tired.
I don't know. I think the show that went the most off the rails though has to be probably Nip Tuck.
Well, all FX is like notorious for that.
Rescue Me kind of, but
yeah.
Even though it's still staying grounded, it just went fucking weird. It just got repetitive.
It got repetitive, like hella repetitive. Is Shameless FX or is that?
No, that's Showtime.
That's Showtime.
That got fucking repetitive and bonkers as well.
And it's just annoying. We're like, why do you? Like, I don't want Frank as a character anymore. The dude's died like 6 times. Keep him dead.
Also, Lip just kind of became just like, what new girls he going to be? What 3 new girls is he going to be sleeping with this season? Yeah.
But yeah, like I think HBO. I haven't really been on Showtime very much, but HBO has been kind of like
they've been doing good.
They've been so far have been keeping it.
So is Amazon, I'd say.
What's on Amazon?
The Boys.
Yeah.
Rings of Power.
Yeah. We'll have to see what happens with Invincible.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
That's gonna be sick.
I enjoyed the Wheel of Time a little bit, even though it was kind of a bummer for especially Wheel of Time.
Yeah,
the book series people.
Interview with the Vampire.
Oh, that's AMC.
Oh yeah, I watch it. Sorry, that because I have AMC through Prime, so that's why my brain went.
A goose. Anywho, all right, we're spending too much time on the actors and whatnot because I think we're avoiding kind of getting into tearing this movie apart. Let's go through your reviews.
Olivia Munn.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's a little.
She's kind of a side character, but like I feel like her role is important for Mike's journey in this.
Well, it was really funny. Fallon was like, "What's her name again?" And I was like, "Olivia Munn." She's like, "That's Olivia Munn," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's Olivia Munn." She's like, "Why does she look so different?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "That's Olivia Munn." She's like, "What else has she been in?" I'm like, "I don't know."
She's Psylocke in X-Men.
X-Men. I'm like, I don't know. Like
she was
stuff.
A game host for like G4 for many years.
But then we like deduced it. She had just watched "Don't Worry, Darling."
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I'm like,
I forgot that she was in
No,
that.
she's not. She's not. I'm like, do you mean Olivia Wilde? I said, that's it.
Oh.
So she was like, I was like, yeah, no. I was that's Olivia Wilde. She was like, oh, I was so confused because she looks so different. I'm like, yeah, well, because it's...
Yeah, those are two completely different people.
But I was just sitting there. I was like, oh, my darling, what are you talking about? Then we deduced it. She was talking about Olivia
Don't worry,
Wilde.
darling.
Yeah, don't worry, darling.
Who am I getting her confused with? Anyhow.
Who? Olivia Munn?
Yeah. Like, there's... like I think I'm getting her now confused with...
I think I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember what her name is.
She's like the one that's actually kind to her, nice to her. Or is that Olivia Wilde's character?
I don't remember.
Anywho.
Anyways.
If anything, from this, I was surprised when I was like, when I saw Olivia Munn's boobs. I was like, I didn't know she'd ever done a topless scene in anything. Even though it's just a flash, I was like, what? Oh.
Do you see her boobs?
At the very fucking beginning.
Oh.
You see Channing Tatum's ass and his balls hanging underneath his fucking ass cheeks.
I remember the ass.
And then, like, while he's, like, kind of changing and whatnot, she's, like, putting on her clothes and she's standing there topless. And then you find out that they had a threesome. You're like, what is
happening
Yeah,
here?
that's the beginning. You're like, what?
But then you also,
this is weird. This is how to set up a movie.
But then you also realize that they're not actually like a couple.
Yeah.
Which was kind of weird, too.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, this is weird.
But it's setting up the lifestyle, you know. But
yeah.
Let's get into the reviews and then we can go back onto that topic.
33 positive, 5 mixed, 0 negative. Which I thought was
that is very
bizarre.
Strange. For 0 negative.
For nada.
Oh, well, you know,
I mean, the lowest does go 40.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what is the lowest in the middle? Because, like, yeah, that's fair. Even though I'd still consider that fucking negative.
Oh, excuse me, I'm trying to find where did he go? Oh, there he is.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So 80 out of 100. David Edelstein at Vulture. It's better to think of Magic Mike as artsy but energetic softcore porn with no pickle shots but plenty of juice. You should see it only. You should see it only for McConaughey, an underrated leading man who finally gets a chance to use his strange timing. Yeah, and I picked that one because it made me laugh. Honestly, it's the thing. But I also picked it because when I was going through these,
no pickles but all the juice.
I was going, like, a lot of these bring up, like, McConaughey and his acting chops in it. Like, if you go through, it's like McConaughey. And I was kind of like, sure, like, this is, like, a weird thing to praise, like, movie to praise McConaughey for. But just
this is before, like, True Detective, I think, came out.
Okay.
And, like, the full McConaissance that I've talked about. Yeah. So I think people are, like, this is kind of, like, them being, like, because we're used to seeing rom-com McConaughey.
Yeah.
And now we're getting into
like sleazy.
We're getting into like McConaughey actually like acting.
Yeah.
Even though I feel like this is kind of like he's not. I mean, I feel like this was just like a fucking walk in the park for McConaughey. You know, Rust Cole and True Detective was probably a fucking like that's in a Denver. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Mixed 50 out of 100. Karina Longworth at voice. The highly calculated Magic Mike is pure Hollywood self-mythology. A neo-depression musical, a wish fulfillment fantasy for shitty times, an origin of the story, an origin of the star story, and a projection of that star's hope for future.
Interesting.
For hoped for future.
I like that actually. I don't fully agree with all of it, but I think that's an interesting.
I thought it was an interesting
perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I can see. That would be when I would like if I was to I would like, yeah. Reading that review, I think I'd be like I could like yeah. Anyhow, oh, is that it? You got it. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's repeat the top of that one again though. Because they said like the.
The one I just read?
Yeah.
Highly calculated Magic Mike is pure Hollywood self-mythology, a neo-depression musical.
Neo-depression musical, that's what kind of like stood out to me.
A wish fulfillment fantasy for shitty times, an origin of the star story, and a projection of that star's hoped for future.
Yeah, because like really at the meat of this movie, which I thought was kind of what the thing that kind of like makes me frustrated about this movie is I can't tell. You can clearly tell that this movie's the main character and it's supposed to be about Mike, but then the kid, what's his actual name? Do you remember?
Mike?
No. Mike is Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
Who's the kid? James?
Adam?
Adam.
Yeah, Adam.
You kind of, it's like, it feels like it should be kind of like also Adam's story, but Adam's character just kind of seems to be a catalyst for Mike, actually. What this movie is like, it's a movie written for a character-driven story about Mike and how the people around him he influences and they influence him.
Well, I got confused kind of like, is Channing Tatum actually Adam?
Okay, so yeah, let's go back. Yeah, so this is inspired by the work that Channing Tatum did as an adult dancer.
Yeah.
But what I was reading is that the entire story is fictional. What Channing Tatum wanted to do was he wanted to how to put it he wanted to capture the atmosphere and the lifestyle of the world that he was in. And I think what the kid is a representation of what he could have become.
And this is all your speculation?
Now I'm in speculation. The beginning of it is an exact quote from Channing Tatum. He wanted to capture the atmosphere and the lifestyles of these male strippers when he was a 19-year-old stripper. So the 19-year-old stripper in it is kind of like the lens to see this world through. That's why we're kind of introduced with him as like a main character, is that we are now new to this world just as much as the kid is. Mm-hmm. But then we're getting Magic Mike's story through it all. See, that's where that's the complication of this movie, is that it's introduced that Mike is the protagonist at the beginning, because we get him, and then we get that he also like makes this furniture, and like we understand that he's a person that has aspirations, but does something else for money, and then we get introduced to the kid at the construction and the roofing, and then it slowly switches to the kid's perspective, Adam's perspective, and then we're following Adam. So it feels like how it's set up is that it's like Magic Mike, or Mike would be kind of like we were introduced as a superhero film. The villain is always introduced first. So boom, we have Mike, the villain, and now we have our protagonist, Adam, and then we follow Adam's story in learning about everything. Mm-hmm. It's you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. But then what happens is then we just follow how Adam and Mike become really good friends, but then it becomes more about Mike's relationship with Adam more than anything, which is Adam's kind of like side story, interspersed here and there.
Well, it gets all I am Jack's unrelenting rage or whatever from Fight Club.
How do you mean?
Well, because then Adam starts becoming McConaughey Dallas's like
little
young buck,
Yeah. Yep.
Jared Leto from Fight Club. That's what I was thinking of. That's what it kind of reminded me of.
Well, okay. Yeah, I see that more than what you were saying, I am Jack's, because it's not a split personality thing.
No, but I just, when he sees Jared Leto and Tyler Durden like bonding, he says something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the really strange thing that we'll talk about. I'll bring that up later if I really want to. But yeah, that's kind of like the most like kind of important thing about this is I really think that the movie. I was enjoying the story of this movie because like you are starting to see this like character drama of Mike, and then there is that really important scene when he's trying to find after Adam has already fucked everything up with the drugs.
Yeah, that also didn't make a lot of sense to me.
What do you mean?
I don't know. What's Fluffy's character? I didn't write us down his name.
It was the DJ.
Yeah, Fluffy's character, like giving him like 100
Oh, they
a pallet. He basically gave him $10,000 worth of drugs. I'm like, well, that was stupid. Why did you give this 19-year-old stripper $10,000? That doesn't seem like a smart investment. Like, that was just like, dude, like, give him a little bit and see how that goes. Not $10,000 worth of product.
Yeah, but that's all, like, if you're fucking selling drugs, like, you're like, oh, if someone's being like, no, I got it. It's like, well, if, like, all right, if you say you got it, but if you don't got it, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I know, but
you?
he's also like the middle guy. Like, that's a big risk on you to trust someone with $10,000 worth of product for your dealer. Like, they might take it out on you, dude.
Yeah,
like $10,000
Yeah.
like that. I was just like, that seems excessive to give to a 19-year-old that you just met.
Yeah.
And to trust them with $10,000 worth of pills. I was just like, huh?
I think that's, one of those things, eat the carrot moments for it.
But it did. I just went, what the fuck? Anyway.
But like, you really start to see that Mike, like, because Mike is only doing this dancing to pay for what he wants to be, like a carpenter, entrepreneur. He wants to build unique things that people are going to spend $10,000 on, you know, and he can't get a loan. But they also, that's one thing, is like, they never really actually go into like, is it just because he has no credit? Like,
no, he has bad credit.
Yeah, but like, why does he have bad credit? They never get into that. He has this beautiful house that obviously he's paying cash in, It's like, is it just because he's paid most of his life in cash? He's in his 30s. What is his backstory on why?
Well, it's kind of a problem with this whole movie, though.
Yeah.
They don't really ever go into anything other than very shallow surface level.
Yes.
That's kind of the issue with it. And then by the end, you think they're going to do something, and they don't do anything. Like, there's this whole buildup where you're like, oh, man, are they finally going to come head-to-head like Dallas and Mike? Are they finally... No, they're not going to.
No, but they're going to go eat breakfast in 7 hours. After
Is
they're
he...
done fucking...
Is he going to actually, like, confront Adam about the $10,000 that he gave him to save his life?
Yeah.
No, we're not going to talk about that either.
Yeah, this abrupt ending of this movie to make it seem like it was some type of romantic drama comedy through it all between Channing Tatum and Cody Horn's character. It was just the most, like, shallow, unsatisfying ending that I've ever had in any that I've had. Like, literally, the movie ended and I immediately was like, what the fuck did I just watch? That was bullshit. Like, I was upset.
No, Val and I too, we looked at each other, we're like, that's the fucking ending?
Yeah.
She's like, what the fuck is this? I was like, I don't like it just, because it slowly pans out them and then credit, and you're like,
you don't even get like Dallas and the kid went off to fucking Tampa and do their own. It's like,
there's no like
nothing.
follow up. Yeah, no,
it's
like, but literally our jaws dropped and we just stared at each other like, is that really how this is gonna?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? We were pissed. We were like, there's nothing satisfying about that ending. But it's like, it's kind of, well, because even like with this thing too, and this is kind of, I don't know if this is positive, I don't know what, I'm just going to say it. The whole, a lot of time we see in these movies this love blooming and you're like, they've known each other for 72 hours. Like, what the fuck? The only thing that kind of saves this whole situation is the month thing.
Yeah.
And then every month they have an interaction and it's a little more. And
that there's more interactions happening in the middle of it.
And the only thing that is making you make that connection is them typing out June.
July,
August, and you're like, oh well, and you're like, okay, obviously he's best friends with the brother, so they've been interacting in between them, so you can kind of let it go. You're like, okay, this has been 3 months, not 3 days, and they've slowly, and there is no I love you. There's just kind of like a, well, let's go get breakfast, but she's also like,
you want to fuck?
You want to get jiggy with it? I saw you dancing. So yeah,
but she first like, oh, you didn't like the dancing, but maybe I did.
Yeah, but. I mean, that's like the only saving grace with the whole love interest thing, but like, god damn, it's just like...
I broke up with Paul.
There's like no... I've never seen a movie with so much...
I love breakfast, but the only problem is my favorite breakfast place doesn't open for 6 hours. So what can we do for 6 hours? It's a lot of sex. I don't have the energy for that anymore.
I really don't like that you made in really intense eye contact while you said that. Just for the record.
Because I was acting.
Not with me or not. But yeah, like, yeah, it's kind of crazy, like how, because that's the thing too, is like there's these, you think like that whole thing with Dallas, like even the setup is like,
yeah,
McConaughey's kind of sitting here being all smug and Channing Tatum's like over him, and you think like he's like, oh, he's gonna hit him, he's gonna be like boom and like fuck this, fuck you, I'm done, and walk out. But no, he doesn't. He just kind of sneaks out the back later, and it's just weird because the way it's shot, it feels like this is the climax, something's gonna happen right now. Nope.
Well, and that's like, no, exactly, and like what's built up with that is when Mike goes to talk to Adam about him paying off his $10,000 debt, and then he sees Adam's sister, and he gives this speech of like I want to do so much more. I am not all you see is a stripper. All you see is this lifestyle. I am not that lifestyle. I am not that. I am so much more than that. And then she's like, who are you trying to convince? Me or yourself?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's a very important moment for Mike, which I think it's the most important part of the movie, because you start to understand that this movie is also kind of like a story about how easily you can just get lost in a lifestyle, in a thing, as much as you try to say like that isn't me. Like us being bartenders, we drink a lot because we are in this, but we were like, oh, but I can control it, but then we have a struggle with it sometimes. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like you can fall into that lifestyle really, really easily, and then at a certain point is like, well, what are you going to do to actually like get out of it? What are you actually doing? Because I'm not seeing it. It's like that's what she's saying. She's like, I'm not. Yeah, you were saying that you're not that.
Well, I mean, that's why we tell like the youth in our lives, don't get into the industry. It's because it's hard to get out of.
Yeah,
and that goes with any of these
hey,
kind
look
of
at that. For even in Hustlers, what do the girls always go back to?
Yeah,
dancing. It's like,
well, I think it's also with the service, entertainment, nightlife, genre of jobs. It's hard to break out of it.
The tips are intoxicating, man.
Well, it's like I think it's something that you can do and teach and don't need a degree. Yeah, no, that's a very astute and accurate way to put it. Yeah, it's like you can teach how to dance.
It's one of those
how to serve. You can teach how to,
but
you don't need a degree at it. Doesn't mean you're going to be good at it. But if you're good at it,
you're going to be fucking
good at it. You know what I mean? So.
But so that whole thing of like her having that moment with Mike, and then like you feel like he's actually gonna like come back and like have some type of romantic, like I feel like they were trying to avoid the romantic comedy, like you were right, let me do it, I am the blah, blah, blah. But instead just kind of had just like I would have much rather watched that ending than the ending that they had.
Yeah,
because then it would have like I was like, well, at least you fed me something. But then still there's no closure with Dallas and the kid and what's going to happen when they go and open up the big spot.
I think that if they had that ending would have been nice, because it says open-ended. You don't see them go, I love you too. It's like the whole having sex thing is kind of weird, because there's like this sweet idea of them, they're just going to go have breakfast, like their first date.
Yeah.
But then there's this like, well, we're gonna screw first.
Well, I mean, it's. I mean, I guess like we don't know if they are. It's like, what can we do for 6 hours?
I mean,
they could just talk for 6 hours.
Yeah, but I don't think that's what the. But I think that if you got at some kind of closure with the Dallas and Adam thing, and then you left it on this kind of wispy note, it would have been fine. But all of the story arcs are left on this wispy note.
Yeah,
because he has the conflict with Dallas, but even when he has that conversation with Adam is just this total dickhead, aloof, doesn't really understand the severity of the situation.
He's like, yeah, thanks, man. Like, that was really cool. It was really cool of you.
But I own this town, kind of like vibe.
It's like, fuck you, kid.
And it's like, dude, you're going to be dead in 6 months.
And what's interesting is like, I kind of, like, I made a parallel-ish to just like the themes inside of like Frankenstein of like, it's like Mike is the doctor and Adam is the monster. He's created this monster. Without even, because like also and which wasn't even by any intention. Like he tells his sister, what's the sister's name? Cody Horn's character.
Where is she?
Mike tells Adam's sister, he's like, I'm going to take care of him. Like, don't worry. Like, it's like Brooke, thank you. He's like, he tells Brooke, I'm going to take care of him. Like, he's in good hands. The life's like what you're thinking isn't like the world that we like to live in. But then like I forget exactly what sends Mike. He doesn't get his loan and it sends him spiraling.
Well, yeah, but I mean also, but it's like,
which then he takes Adam down with him in that spiral.
No, because Adam has already talked to Fluffy about selling drugs.
Yeah,
but then he starts taking the drugs that Adam has as he's spiraling. So Adam's already made this, which Mike didn't do.
No. It literally like there is like Mike starting to spiral. He stops paying attention to what Adam is doing, and then at that party, when Adam starts taking the ecstasy, and then goes and has this little like foursome orgy thing, that's when. Because now Mike is actually not doing what he told Brooke he was going to do. He's not taking care of Adam anymore.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying it's like, but Adam
starts making his own choices.
Adam's already like doing his spiral on his own.
But then Mike Mike isn't even caring anymore about it. You know, but that's because now that now that Mike is spiraling, that's because since Mike is spiraling, he has no care to try to stop Adam from doing what
I know. But I was just clarifying. It's not like Mike didn't bring Adam down.
No,
Adam was already going down, and Mike kind of joined for the ride. If
Mike wasn't spiraling, then Mike could have prevented Adam from going down, falling. Is which is that's what I see in that final conversation with Mike and Adam is that moment of just like, man, I really let this kid down. It's not like, look, I mean, I guess like what I'm saying is like, look what I created, but in a sense, but that it's kind of like, man, like I've really fucked up. It's like, older brother, I really fucked up on
so weird though.
Not protecting you from this shit.
But even like what, like I don't know, like the bringing, like the whole movie is really weird. Like they meet at this construction site.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is like then like who is the main character as well? Like clearly Mike as we watch it, but like Adam's fucking like downfall through it all just seems like it should be so much more important to Mike's as well.
Even his introduction into Mike's life is weird. Meets him at a construction site. He sees him outside a club. He asks if he can go in. He's like, nah, you're not dressed for it. Okay, fine. That's fine. For sure. Like, we're bros, right? You're like, why? You met him 3 hours ago, but okay. You take him in, and then you immediately just thrust him in this world of male stripping with no indication from Adam that he was interested in that. He didn't even know you did that. You told him that night, and it's, you know what I mean? It's just like a weird, like pace. It's just weird. The whole movie's just kind of weird.
I mean, because
when you look at it through that lens,
exactly. Yeah. I mean, I can see, and it's like the nightclub thing. It's like, you know what? I think this kid's just like, this kid hasn't caught a break in a long time, it seems. I'm just going to give him one. And then obviously if he fucks up, he's fucking out of here. And then I'm never going to fucking see him again.
Well, there's like no conversation with Dallas either that he gets like some kind of commission for bringing. I mean, Dallas does mention like that they're all getting older, but that's already after Adam's been introduced, you know? But it's like there's no conversation with Channing or anything really about like why I get a commission for bringing new
there's a lot of things
blood
there's a lot of things that us as an audience members, and we kind of did, we just filled them in our own heads with assumptions.
Yeah.
You know? And I didn't really fully think about that 100%.
That really was glaring to me. I'm like, why is he here?
Yeah.
What is the point of, you know, like, and it's like, it really comes down to kind of like a timing thing too, because you could have made it that they had already, at the construction site, had already been working together for a minute and becoming friends. Yeah. And then Adam finds out, like, how do you, like, do this? And he goes, all right, well, I don't tell a lot of people this, but on the side I do this. And then Adam being like, I'm like, okay, can I need to make
that could have been a little bit of like a strange thing where like Channing Tatum's like how quickly he was thrust into it.
Yeah, maybe. You know? But that's like that's yeah, okay, I guess. But it's like, but yeah, now
we're spiraling around just like.
But now you're making. I guess my point is that now you're making a movie. You're making a movie that the audience is going to watch, and you got to have point A to point B to point C. Yeah. You know, like.
Apparently you don't, because
there's a lot of gaps that.
Yeah. You know. All right. Where are you at on a carrot for this?
Oh, we're done? I don't know. Bad.
What?
I said bad. It's that time old thing. It's like the last 10 minutes is the thing you're gonna remember, and that's all I remember. So, but I don't know.
I mean, overall, the movie isn't the worst thing. It's literally up to that point. Like I think it's like a 2.5.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because like leading up to that moment, like that very last moment of just how everything was wrapped up, I felt like there was going to be a little bit more of a movie. I do feel like Channing Tatum like pulls out some decent acting chops in this. I see the blossoming good
Young
actor
star
he can
that he
become.
is. Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey is fucking a good sleazeball and very grounded in just like the reality of the world that he's created. Because Dallas is a fucking kooky dude.
He's a complete egomaniac.
Yeah.
Like, especially when he finally has his like dance scene.
Yeah.
You know, you really see it.
I'm back, baby.
Yeah. You know, you really see he's until, especially now that he has his plan, his grand scheme has come to fruition. You can tell his ego is like really, really high.
Yeah.
Because even when Magic Mike leaves, his very first thing is looking at him is like, we don't fucking need him. And it's like, well, he helped you build this empire.
Yeah.
I do think it's really funny. We watched it after, what is his wife's name? I'm completely blanking. Channing Tatum's wife.
The dancer?
Yeah.
I don't remember her name. They were in Step Up together, right?
Yeah. But remember when like, you know, Zendaya and Tom Holland did the dance with that show? He came out and did.
Yeah. He did Umbrella.
Yeah. Well, they did one,
and she did Pony, right?
Which is she did his dance from Magic.
Yeah,
Mike.
yeah.
Which I didn't realize. We didn't realize that was like the joke because we hadn't seen Magic.
I see. Yeah.
But yeah, she does his routine to him from, you know, which I was like, that's cute. That's really funny. And that's why he's losing. Like, if you see him sitting on the side stage watching her, he's losing it. Yeah. She's doing all that fucking, like, you know, all
that fucking
sticking her hand down his pants.
I mean, the choreography was actually really, really well done.
Yeah, no,
and and it's really impressive. I always forget how good of a fucking dancer Channing Tatum actually is. And also he did hit all of his own choreography, like we said. Yeah. And I think one of them was almost like kind of improvised on like.
Oh, I didn't read that.
He was coming up with stuff as they were filming it, I want to say. And Steven Soderbergh's like direction this actually is really good. It's shot really fucking well.
I mean, it's a good looking movie.
Yeah, and like even though we have all of you're talking about all of these like glaring like missing chunks or like plot holes. Yeah, the movie flows really well and goes from like you're going to the next beat without really big like.
Yeah, I know,
question,
but the thing is, we're reviewing it, so that's why these things. Like, if I was just sit there casually watching,
no, that's what I'm saying. It's a 2.5 because it is missing that stuff, but it flowed so well that it's like not until reflection you're like, oh yeah,
that's the only reason. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't have like if you and I were just casually talking about it, I wouldn't have really probably brought that up. But also, I don't know. I just find male stripping as just a thing, just so entertaining. Like, especially because we just did Hustlers. Mm-hmm. And then there's
the pageantry that they do in this.
That's what I point. Yeah. I'm like, it's like fucking ridiculous.
It's like
cowboy outfits. Yeah, and
no, it's you know what it actually kind of reminds me of is okay. So when you go to a strip club, it's like the girls just like dancing and just taking her clothes off, just like kind of just there's like some pageantry to it, but there's
definitely an art to it. To keep you captivated in the movement.
But it actually like male stripping. It reminded me a lot more of like how drag has its pageantry and teasing and whatnot. It's a lot more teasing than it is like about exposing the nudity.
It's almost more like cabaret.
Sorry. Well, drag is based really much off of cabaret.
But I mean, like like there's that whole scene where they're telling like a little story. It's like the sheriff and the outlaw, and they do and then he does the splits to dodge the bullet, and then the show starts. I don't know. I was just watching. It was like, man, male stripping is just like it's just such a thing.
Yeah.
So Valen's like, do you want to go to Thunder Down Under next time we're in Vegas? I was like, if you want to go, sure. I don't fucking care. She's like, it's kind of crazy. I was like, yeah, like if it's anything like this is fucking ridiculous. Like, this is insane. And all the costumes and Yeah.
A lot of thought. Also, like they're practicing their routines. Like yeah.
Like McConaughey's like grinding on him. Like,
Oh, he's like got the flamethrower. Like, I was thinking about this for Tarzan.
Yeah,
do you want it? Blow some fire on the stage.
it's like
what the fuck?
It's crazy. It was like I was just like, this is like I find that just the concept alone so entertaining. And they're like shopping, you know. Oh no, don't get the trunk thong. That's
what's
Tarzan's
interesting
thing.
to think about though is that I think that actually kind of goes down to your audience, like who your audience is, and like the male psyche is a lot more like, oh, woman taking clothes off. While a guy or a woman's psyche is a little more like, oh, look at them like putting on a show for us as well. Like,
well, that's what I think it is. It's more of like a show.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even like places like but that's even like places in Portland.
Yeah.
That we've been to too. Like a lot of the dancers there, the women dancers, they do more of like
they put on more of a show
of a cabaret kind of thing.
Yeah.
They do a show.
Yeah.
Like when
like the stripperoke place.
Yeah, like the stripperoke thing. I remember, I think the Kit Kat, a young lady did like sang Amy Winehouse.
I remember you telling me that one. Yeah,
stripping to it, but like like the very Jessica Rabbit kind of slow, like you know what I mean. It's like that's more of like a show cabaret thing than just. But,
and then the male strip clubs is just like dudes shaking their dongs.
It's crazy. Yeah, actually,
there was no pageantry.
There was no pageantry whatsoever. Yeah. we went to two of them, right?
I can't remember. With
our group. Yeah, that was real. Just
some dude shaking his dong around.
All right. Yeah, actually, you're right. There's no show. Just like look at it.
Just like you got a big dick. You can swing it like a lasso. Good job.
Yeah. Like good for you. I'm happy for you, but. Hello.
All right, but we don't know what we're doing next week, do we?
No, I think we're going to talk about the one I brought up because I think that fits the both criteria.
Oh yeah. So, thanks for listening to us talk about strippers
for the last 2 weeks.
Actually, it was interesting. I liked going down a different avenue of movies that we haven't really gone down before.
Well, yeah, and it's like I was saying, like we were talking about too. It's like both these movies just didn't really pop off on my radar.
Yeah.
So I probably wouldn't have watched them unless.
Oh, you said you'd watched Hustlers. You'd already watched Hustlers.
Oh yeah, but my partner.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You know. She was like, I think you'll really like it. Like, we should check it out. And it's just like, I was like, yeah, sure. It just wasn't on my radar. I was just like, okay,
Magic Mike was one that's kind of always been on my radar because like any movie that kind of has like a flourish of like pop culture like relevance,
you're curious why?
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, why is that?
Yeah, that's fair.
You know.
I mean, yeah, it was like I guess now a franchise that just kind of would bleep and then I'd forget about it and then they made another one.
Oh, I also read what the storyline of the sequel is. The
what?
Sexual. The sequel.
What, extra large?
Double XL is so apparently Dallas and Kid ran off and did their thing, but it like all fell through and like I don't think Brooke's in the picture anymore. But all of the male strippers get a hold of Mike and they're like, we're just gonna go down and we're gonna just do one last hurrah of like one big like show for like a send off of our skills and whatnot. And I think they're like. They're trying to go to the place that Dallas fucked up to like do like
in Miami.
Yeah.
Okay.
In Miami, and then on the road trip there, they're like coming up with a routine and like they discover new ways to dance. And I was like, what?
I think if it's free somewhere, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Like
I think it's free on HBO. Yeah.
Real quick, I just had this weird thought.
It's like they take all the side dancer characters and make them
like more
front
and center.
Yeah.
I just had this weird thought. Dallas is the Australian from Cocktail.
I don't remember Cocktail.
Oh. Well,
I saw that way too young.
I wasted.
Cool. I'm an asshole. Why don't you just subscribe, everybody? We are on Instagram. We're on YouTube.
Someone out there be like, yeah, it kind of is that kind of relationship.
Apple Podcasts. Spotify.
If you could leave reviews or anything, that would be helpful.
Likes, reviews.
Any feedback is always welcome and appreciated. Yeah. That's all right.
Gobble gobble.
What is that?
Seriously, you don't remember that?
No, you tell me every time, and I always forget it because I don't.
Jennifer Lopez, Ben Affleck.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that fucking movie.
Neither have I.
Anyways, this is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is
Tommy
Tommy
and Jacob's
Jacob's
mixtape. Gobble
Fucking
gobble.
outta here.